This is the Criterion Creeps podcast, and tonight we're talking about Fists in the Pocket from 1965, directed by Marco Bellocchio. No tagline for this film, RJ.
None?
No. So we could make one. We could make one up.
Make one up. What do you think it would be?
Well, like if I was a marketing guy?
Yeah.
Fuck. How would you market this movie?
My wife, my cousin, my mother.
Mm-hmm. Throw mama off the cliff.
Off the cliff. Have you ever loved your cousin so much you had to push your mom off a cliff?
It's not cousins, RJ.
Have you ever loved your sister so much you had to push your mother off the cliff?
No.
So wait, no, actually, here's the tagline.
Okay.
Family is so important that you'll kill them just to get closer to them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you see what I did there? Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so the synopsis for this film, RJ. Ale, a deeply disturbed young man subject to seizures, benignly decides to murder members of his dysfunctional family for altruistic reasons.
What are the altruistic reasons to that situation?
Well, to, I guess, put them all out of misery, since, like, I think all the siblings, except for the older brother, have seizures, and the mom's blind. So I guess, to do the world a favor, to do the brother a favor. I'm not sure, RJ.
But is that what altruism is?
Well, it's for it's being selfless, I guess. Or, I mean, is it
selfless or selfish?
Selfless, less.
What about shellfish? Is that all
shellfish?
Yeah.
Don't know anything about that.
Is that somehow related?
Okay, how about this? This is the off the back of the box for Fists in the Pocket. Tormented by twisted desires, a young man takes drastic measures to rid his grotesquely dysfunctional family of its various afflictions in this astonishing 1965 debut from Marco Bellocchio. With its coolly assured style, shocking perversity, and savage gallows humor, Fists in the Pocket, a pudne tasca, was a gleaming ice pick in the eye of bourgeois family values and Catholic morality. A truly unique work that continues to rank as one of the greatest achievements of Italian cinema.
What do they mean by greatest?
I think it's exactly what it means, RJ. And they said great achievements, not greatest.
Oh, I thought that you read that as greatest achievements.
Oh, maybe. But it says great, but maybe I say greatest because maybe I'm overplaying my hand.
We'll have to. Well, shit. I guess I'll have to wait to see what you think about this. Tell me more.
So I had never seen this movie before, and I've kind of known of it. It pops up. I've seen this Criterion poster art on my Letterboxd lots.
Sure you have.
And I'm not sure what lists they've come up on in terms of...
I think it's on the ultimate incel list for budding and future incels. I believe is part of it.
I mean, again...
You can't argue that. Is he not textbook incel?
He's got those vibes, but I would say no.
Really?
Yeah, he's got the vibes.
He's involuntarily celibate, and he takes out his anger on other people.
I mean, it seems like there's like girls giving him some side eye and the up and down at that dance at the brothers'
so you're
party.
saying he's voluntarily celibate?
I think he's incompetent. I mean, he's not really trying for those. He's got one person that he's fixated on, which it's sort of like the incel thing. But usually, once you get to that point, RJ, as has been discussed several times before. It's once you become involuntarily and then you've abandoned those aspirations and now you want to make them all pay. So this movie comes up often in terms of like, I think some point it was put in the horror genre list on Letterboxd. It has since been corrected because it is not a horror movie, but
No.
is it a horror question mark movie, like something like Angst or Bad Boy Bubby or something like that? I'd say no, it's not. It's really.
I also agree. I don't think it, or I agree. I don't think it is either.
Yeah, there's nothing that made me go, oh man, that's horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I went into this kind of. This has been around, and because of the films that kind of get suggested in, I was like, oh, that sounds like something I could watch. But I was like, by the time I ever first really saw what it was about, I was like, we'll be watching it for the show one of these days. And here we are. Mm-hmm. That day came. So it was time to watch this movie. And, it's only an hour and 49 minutes. That's like not that long. So why is it, RJ? Why did this movie take me 3 days to watch?
I mean, I have my ideas, but they might be different from your ideas. Maybe you thought this movie was so good.
I think you
wanted to savor it.
I think there might be some crossovers in our opinions on this movie, RJ. Just I might throw that one out there.
Is it 2 lanes going the same way on a highway, or is it two different parts of the highway? One going one way, one going another.
I think this might be a convoy.
Did we both take the exit off of the highway? Do you think that's what it is?
No, man.
Yeah. Did you see my review of this film?
I did. I saw. Did you see my review of the film?
I did not, because I don't go on Letterboxd very frequently.
Don't tell the fans that.
I go on Letterboxd all the time.
Just so it's clear, folks, if you're on YouTube and you're listening to our review of Fists in the Pocket,
I see.
You might want to just jump ship here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, people know by now that we don't like movies. 2 guys who don't like movies don't talk about Criterions. So
we'll talk about Scott Bakula's underwear.
Huge package.
Yeah.
Banging into the walls in the shower, Jarrett. It happened.
It happened.
So yeah,
you're caught.
This movie.
You're caught up. You're caught up on this movie.
Yes,
in my review. Yeah.
I mean,
am I wrong?
No, I think that would make a lot of movies. That's kind of a universal stamp. Like if the Batman had epileptic werewolves as well,
wow,
that would also have been maybe a better movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just imagine it's like a family cursed with werewolfism. Lycanthropy.
Lycanthropy, yeah. I agree.
What if they were wolfmans?
Wolfmans?
No.
So I do like a wolfman. My question for you is, was it equal segments of 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, or did you do like an hour?
I was down to like 20 minute, 10 minute, and then maybe I knocked back a big chunk, and then I still had a half hour to go. But it's like, this was tough. This was a tough one.
Not for you, hey?
Yeah, so here's the plot synopsis off of Wikipedia.
Okay.
Let's just run through it. Then we'll go bit by bit. 4 siblings, a sister and 3 brothers, live with their blind mother in an Italian villa. 3 of the siblings suffer from epilepsy. The eldest brother, Augusto, does not. Augusto is the only provider for the family. One of the brothers, Alessandro, a.k.a. Ale or Ali, played by Luke Castell, decides that Augusto would be free to live his life as he pleases if the mother and other siblings were gotten rid of. He connives to be allowed to drive his mother and the other siblings on their periodic trip to a cemetery. After he has left, Augusto reads the note that Alessandro left saying that he would kill all of them and himself. Alessandro intended to drive all of them off a cliff, but does not, and they all return home safely. Later, however, Alessandro takes his mother for a drive. They stop at an overlook, and Alessandro pushes his mother off the cliff to her death. Alessandro is not suspected. After his mother's funeral, he kills his epileptic brother Leon by having him drink an overdose of his medication. The sister, Julia, realizes that Alessandro killed Leon and their mother. Alessandro has an attack, and Julia does not come to his aid. That's the movie, more or less.
So are they saying that in the bathtub he had an attack?
Like
that bathtub
Leon?
scene?
Yeah. Well, he gets drowned though. Like he literally gets his head held under the... Yeah.
I found that scene really confusing because it's like I know about the epilepsy stuff, but like he pushes him down for a second and then he floats back up. But the guy seemed like conscious. Was he just not like he was unconscious? But then he had the consciousness to like have posture again all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think that was an accurate representation of what that ailment might be.
Mm-hmm.
So I was confused by that scene.
So that's kind of what we're playing with here.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
So the movie opens up with so it's an Ennio Morricone score.
Ennio Morricone.
Yeah, it's bombastic.
Yeah.
Kind of I guess horror-y, kind of thriller-y.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hostage letter type of deal where it's like a close-up of a letter that the sister has sent to the older brother's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that she's pregnant and to leave her brother alone or something like that. But it's like her being like pretending to be another woman. And then the brother and this girlfriend are talking about it in the car. And none of this is very particularly clear watching the movie until you like kind of skim back through and go, what are the relationships? Because there's just like, I don't know, you're like thrown into this movie and you're kind of like navigating how these characters are related to one another. I found reading the synopsis helpful in terms of like what is this? What's all this about? Yeah, so they're having a conversation. She's like, "What's wrong with your sister?" Well, they back up and I guess drop off this girlfriend, and the older brother is driving back, sees his sister on the side of the road, and picks her up. And says like, "Why did you write that letter?" Sure. Yeah, the older, so there's the, oh God, how do you break this down? So there's the brothers, Leon and Ali. They're running around, just hanging out on the estate. And there's one comment about the sister saying to the older brother, like, man, our younger brother, he's an incestuous weirdo. He left a love letter on my dresser.
Ha 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 ha.
Wild.
They all had a good laugh, Jarrett?
Wild.
Yeah.
And then we get some depressing dinner action with the family. We get some roughhousing with a kitty. Grab that older brother. He's just grabbing that cat by the scruff. You know, cat.
He scruffs the shit out of that cat.
Lifting that cat right up, and you're like, no, kitties are heavy. You can't lift them when they're that big. You gotta leave. You pick them up by their little flanks and send them on their way. And then when
Not
they come,
like that.
But at least the cat got back up there and started getting into that food, and like the person continues eating. So the cat's just gnawing down. I appreciated
did like that part.
Yeah,
I liked that part as well. That was good. But yeah, that dude really like handles that cat, and you're like, dude.
Whoa. But hey, 1965 Italy. That cat got off light.
In terms of what could have happened in Italy. Yeah,
exactly.
I agree. Unfortunately,
we also get saucer coffee. You know what I'm talking about? The older brother's got his like he's got his espresso or his little coffee, and he kind of pours some into the like saucer that the cup is sitting in, and then he hands it over to the youngest brother, Leon, I guess, or I'm not sure whose youngest or oldest, and this guy just starts slurping it. And I'm just like, oh, that's where you put like the saucers where you put weird stuff that you don't want to put on the kitchen table.
Anything that's fallen off that you don't want to eat anymore,
leavings.
You put it on there. Yeah, the leavings.
Yeah, sometimes maybe like boogie woogies and other flecks and bits and stuff go on there. Things that like you don't want any business with, but you're not pouring coffee on and go, hey bro, you'll want a slurp.
Yeah, so you haven't had a sip off of a serving dish anytime, or saucer?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, you seem like a saucer guy.
Well, it kind of reminded me of this came up the other day at work for some reason. At bars at the end of the night, there's like the catch tray for like when the bartenders are like pouring out the shots and stuff like that, and they're doing it on this tray, but there's spillage that accumulates over the course of the night. And some desperate souls apparently drink what is left at the end of the night. So all the leavings and accumulations get poured into a drink, and it's got different names for it. One, though, that jumps out at me is called a gorilla fart.
Where did you say this happens?
At bars, some kinds of bars. At last call, the end of the night, this is a thing.
I not in a very long time, but I used to frequent bars in my younger days. I've never seen such a thing.
You were probably not with the hardened types that are there at the bitter end. You're probably waiting for a cab at this point.
Have you partook?
No! God, I didn't know this thing existed. And then it's just like reading, I was like, oh.
I was just curious. I didn't know if you did or not. Like, I mean, I wouldn't to judge you if you did. I just...
No.
You know?
But yeah, anyway, saucer coffee. Thumbs down.
I know. I saw that too, and I was like, why do Italians always do shit like that?
What's wrong with these people?
I mean, not to be that guy, but it's like, this is what Italians are doing all the time. They're always doing weird shit like
People's
this.
birds' heads are falling off.
I know. Our pets' heads are falling off. I just don't get it. But anyways, I don't understand it. The pizza.
And then our protagonist.
Yeah.
Little incester and incel. This is
yes. I think he qualifies.
Little bit of both.
Little bit.
He's got attributes for sure. But he's got like a little kid that comes by for lessons.
Allegedly.
Yeah, where he's like, hey, I need you to like change what my grades say on my report card, because that always works so great.
I mean, who even gives a shit about a report card, Well, it seems small potatoes in the scheme of what this movie gets to.
In 1965. Well, I guess like what Ale does is he gets this little kid to go check out my sister. She's sunbathing. And you really take a good look at her. Real up and down. What is she wearing? What kind of sunglasses? You got to learn how to observe well, young boy. You have to like really know how to objectify women.
How would you objectify them?
I wouldn't recommend
using your own words. How would you do it, Jared?
Well, I beg your pardon. Using your own words.
I just wanted to be really clear.
Am I being interviewed for the Supreme Court?
Using your own words, Jarrett.
Do you think babies can be racist?
Do you?
All right. What a timestamp this is. So
yeah.
Go smile with my sister. My next note here is Ali doing spaz kid stuff.
Could you repeat what you described him as?
Mama's a blind.
What could you describe him? What did you say he was doing?
A little incelly.
Oh, okay. What was that?
He's got a lot of energy.
What kind of kid did you call him?
He's really acting up.
I see. Yeah, he's getting there. He's doing things. Yeah, things that you go.
He's kicking upside the wall like you do when you're a kid, I guess, and hopping around, and like he's doing stuff with his hands. I don't know if you noticed that, RJ. There's a lot of hand action.
That's where Scorsese got it.
He might have. He loves Italian cinema, and it seems like
loves hands.
Many people love this movie.
He loves hands as well, Jared. Did you not see the cover to The Irishman?
Many.
Yeah.
Then we kind of find out that the youngest brother is indeed epileptic.
Sure. Who isn't? We've
all been
in
there.
This family.
And then, just kind of to paraphrase, hey, big bro, can't take the car out for a drive to kill us all? And he fails. He changes his mind. Yeah, he thought about it real hard. Mm-hmm. And then there's some moping around at the cemetery while they're doing that. So the older brother stays home, and he's making out with his girlfriend back at the estate. And they're what if they come back? It's like, we'll hear the car. Even though it's like he found this essentially a suicide confession letter that the brother that he was like, well, maybe he won't do anything about it. But he didn't. And then the family returns. Laughs are had.
There's a lot of movies in the Criterion where everyone has a good laugh afterwards. And when you go afterwards, what?
And then I have a note here. Some other shit. I don't know. And then next note though is shooting mice.
Yeah, there's a real scene here where they're at the dump. They're just shooting some mice.
Yep.
Down at the dump.
Well, I don't know if they're successful though.
No, it doesn't seem like they hit any of, it doesn't seem like they peg any of them. They're shooting at the mice, and you go,
and
all right.
It's a bunch of footage of scurrying mice.
Yeah, and I feel bad for those guys. Those mice and rats, they're not bad dudes. You leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. You know what I mean? They're just trying to get a piece of the pie, just like everyone else. And I mean, isn't that what it's all about?
Well,
in this crazy world.
Some rats won't just leave you alone, though.
Well, I mean, we're a lot better off than them. Let them have a piece.
A piece of the pie.
Let them have a piece of the pie.
Like the pizza pie, like Splinter.
Pizza pie.
And then there's some cards being played in another scene. And then we get to when our young protagonist throws his mama off that cliff. And a real push because she's blind. And when he's pretending to slap her, but like air blowing. And he's also reading the newspaper headlines, and then he starts making some up. Classic blind people abuse. Yeah,
a lot of blind abuse in this.
No.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I'm not for it.
This is pretty peak blind abuse when you push a blind person off of a cliff. Yeah,
this might be a controversial statement, but I feel like you shouldn't push blind people off cliffs.
Wow, that's what virtue signaling this is.
It's a stance I'm gonna take, Jarrett, and I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's the right thing to do. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Then we have a funeral sequence that goes on for quite some time. Then there's trying out some fur coats, and we get our Ali's first seizure, his own seizure, where he has to be held by his head while he goes through this. Another note here: some other stuff. I don't know.
There's some more stuff there. So. This is after the funeral, right?
This is after the funeral, before the party.
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking to each other, and you go, "What are these people talking about?"
Yeah,
and you're saying this as you're watching the movie, and then you go, "I don't know."
I don't know, or
I don't know what these people are talking about. Okay, and you go, "Okie dokie."
And then we get to the party. There's the Boulder brothers having a shindig at the estate. I guess he's running this shindig now.
What happens there?
I don't know. There's some dances. People are like, there's like some outs being given to our protagonist. There's other. There's you don't just have to lust after your sister.
You know those old talks, eh?
Yeah.
Common in Italy, allegedly.
Yeah. There's some hanging out in the fireplace.
Yeah, they do a big bonfire.
No.
And they burn some stuff, and one of the brothers says
that's outside. But then there's but then there's a bit where there's like the indoor fireplace, and they kind of like go duck in there, so you can see their legs sticking out. Yeah, it's kind of like Franny and Zoe the Saint.
Yeah, it's whimsical, Jarrett.
But not.
Jarrett, it's whimsical.
No,
Jarrett, it's playful.
And this is where I note that this is the longest it has ever taken me to watch a single movie for this podcast show.
Good sign.
Good sign. And then Time to Kill My Brother, I guess, because he's decided, I want to take this. I got to take this one out too. This is where my comment earlier tonight about bathtub grubs. So there's like a bit where he's getting down to the sink and he's like splashing some water around. And you can see that there's some like rock pebble dirt things at the back of that bathtub, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's universal. That's why I shower. So it's at my feet. I'm not floating with it.
I actually really like baths. I'm just too big. I don't fit in the tub here. I'm not even a big dude. It's just like I just don't fit in the tub, but it is gross, right? But you know what you could do? Take just a quick rinse, shower, and get that tub filled up. It's kind of a whole thing. Yeah. But a nice soak, man, it'll do you good. Or you do in the bath and then shower afterwards too. It's also an option.
That's a lot of water.
What kind of but we don't need it. What was I gonna say? What kind of stuff falls off of your body in the tub?
I don't think about it. I don't look down.
You should get someone in there to have a look.
No. Did you get knife in the water vibes from this movie?
No.
There's something about
now that you mention it, I can kind of see it. I didn't while watching it though.
Yeah, because I kept thinking, like, is there some political element that I'm missing from this? Because I still have some people say, well, it predates the student revolutions that were coming in Italy, like, very shortly in the world or across the world by a year or two. So, I mean, it was very prophetic. And I'm like, was it? I don't know. There's, like, lots of movies coming out at this period of time.
There's lots of movies that claim to do that, right?
About the youths, about the youths.
Yeah. What do you think the movies about today's youths would say, Jarrett?
Oh, man. Who gives a shit? They're terrible. They're
Which ones?
all of them. They're no good. No good.
Tell me more about what you would do with today's youths.
He goes to kill his brother.
Yeah.
Yep. Murders him dead. And then we get some Bergman-esque incest sequence where you're like, did they just have sex? Or did it just look that way when that cat forced itself through that hole?
Impossible to tell.
There's implications.
But I do think someone pushed that cat through the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think that cat would willingly do that.
Sure, it could.
But, I mean, it could, but would that cat do that?
We gotta get this shot cat. Cooperate.
Just do it.
There's a big can of tuna in it for you.
You know what I would have appreciated more would have been Austin Powers style, where it was super on the nose, where it's like scenes of trains going through tunnels, hot dogs falling into buns, where it's very, very clear. And I know you're gonna say, well, it's Italy. It won't be ambiguous. I don't know.
Anyway, but they're fully clothed, so nothing happened. And then
allegedly,
she gets up to go check on the brother and discovers he's dead.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, so the funeral, and now she's not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
She's laying in bed. Brother might kill her, but no, I won't put the pillow over her face.
Not yet.
But he has a seizure, and she sees it and goes. After she of course figured out, oh, I think my brother's killing our family, and then it's like, oh, he's having a seizure. It's like, well, I'll let him ride that one out, and it goes on for some time, and then it goes to black, and that's all she wrote. And my note here was this movie would be way cooler with werewolves, and it is a really well photographed movie, but
sometimes
no, it's really nicely. It's pretty nice.
Right.
It's pretty nicely shot. Those reflections on those cars, some of those shots around the estate and stuff like that. It looks really nice, but boy, oh boy, not a fan of this experience. And even kind of going back through it a little bit just to maybe look for some screenshots or get a sense of it again to see if anything about it draws me in. No. So I don't know. Is that on me? Maybe. Is it on the movie? Maybe. What more can be said? This movie was a real drag, honestly. And it's again, one of these movies that is extremely well regarded. I believe on Letterboxd it has a 3.9, a whole lot, 1,196 4.0s. And I'd say the consensus amongst the people I follow, 3.5 is the average.
3.5?
3.5. I am not there at all. But I don't know.
I am also not there.
Yeah, so I don't know much about this Marco Bellocchio chap. Still alive. This was his first film. The essay for the movie from the Criterion Collection is something. It's got some real hooters in there, RJ.
Hooters, you say?
Yeah. hoots. They'll make They'll make you hoot and holler.
Oh, I thought you maybe meant something else, Jarrett.
No, not that.
Hooters.
Here's one for you. If this is from the essay, Fists in the Pocket, ripped to shreds by Deborah Young. Fists in the Pocket is one of the reasons people still remember Italian cinema as a great and powerful force.
Force of what?
A force.
Yeah, but a force could be a lot of things. You ever eat a little too much fiber, Jarrett, and you have to go to the toilet? There's a force there too.
Mm-hmm. That's necessary sometimes.
Yeah, some things are necessary. I'm just saying forces aren't a good thing.
Two folks were not fans of the movie, including Louis Buñuel and, shockingly, Mr. Michelangelo Antonioni.
He was not in favor?
No, he dissed it.
Oh, what did he say?
Even though I'd say this fits right in with his oeuvre. It felt very Malaise. Am I wrong? Apparently, it's a little too radical, grotesque, fast-paced, and sarcastic. And it left all who saw it when it came out breathless.
Breathless?
Breathless. The film is still a knockout today. Mockingly ferocious, blasphemous, and subversive. Fists in the Pocket mounts a frontal assault on family values and Catholic morality.
Well, why? Oh, yeah, there is.
What's there? What?
There's a prayer at one point. They're like going to a church or something, and they take a knee and they like do like a little prayer or something. I don't know if it was Catholic per se, but they are Italian, so you would think maybe.
How about Bellocchio is the great psychologist of Italian cinema?
Disagree. Is Bellocchio some sort of anagram for Bellagio?
Nope, different spelling.
You know what I mean, though?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it you?
I hope not. I hope not.
He was born in Bobbio, Italy.
This can't be a real guy. Come on.
I'm looking at him.
Bobbio, Italy.
Unless he's CGI.
Come on.
But Bellocchio made a big impact on radical Italian cinema in the mid-'60s and was a friend of Pasolini. In 1968, he joined the Communist Union and began to make politically militant cinema. However, in a 2002 interview, he remarked, "I can talk about my personal ideas, but Marxism has little to do with it now. Today, politics means administration. No party is now proposing a radical change of anything, and radical change is no longer very interesting to me as an artist." He's an atheist. He was a candidate for Italian Parliament in 2006. Huge.
For which parliament?
The Italian Parliament.
Oh.
Not for Creepsville.
Not Creepsville Parliament? Do you think he would have won, though?
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah. He says, "Hey, you know me? I directed Fist in the Pocket." And people go, "Holy shit."
They say, "Wow,
I watched that on the
accomplishment."
I watched that on the Criterion channel.
It's a Criterion. It must be great. A guy I work with today, I don't tell people we do this. It's just sometimes it's unavoidable sometimes for me because I get invited out a lot and people are always like, "Do you want to come out now?" And I'm like, "I can't." And then someone one time was like, "Why don't you ever come out on Wednesdays?" And I was like, "I can't go out on Wednesdays." And they're like, "Why not?" And I was like, "I have a thing." And they're like, "What are you talking?" They're like, "Why are you being so weird, dude?" Because they thought I was being the incel. You know what I mean? They're like, "Well, you've been so weird." And then I told one person about it once. And then a guy today was like, he's like, "What movie?" So he knows about it, but he's like, "What are you talking about at the podcast tonight?" Because they brought it up because there was a work thing. They're like, "Are you coming to that thing tonight?" I was like, "No, I can't tonight." And he's like, "Oh, it's Wednesdays." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "It's an Italian movie called Fists in the Pocket." And he's like, "What's it about?" I was like, "This kid wants to have sex with his family, so he kills a bunch of the other ones." And the guy went. He went, and he knows what Criterion is too. Like he actually knows what it is, and he's like, "When did that movie come out?" I was like, "The '60s," and he's like, "Why?" And I went, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. I wasn't much a fan, my dude.
My dude.
Like, I was like, I don't know what to tell you.
I got another one here, RJ. How do you feel
Okay.
about Then Again? It wouldn't be too far-fetched to read Fist in the Pocket as an auteurist horror film about repressed violence in the provinces.
No.
Its bleak immediacy grabs you by the throat and won't let go until its gleefully bitter end.
I'm gonna say no.
Pass.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say no. Like, I disagree. You know what I mean, Jerry?
I think I pieced it together.
I'm just gonna say no.
Yeah. So anyway, this movie 0 buys for me, and it's just time to move on. RJ, what did you think of Fist in the Pocket?
Like, I literally watched this movie, and when I finished, I honestly just went, okay. Like, we've seen movies. Maybe you haven't as much, but like there's been a lot of movies in the Criterion for me so far where I've just, once it's done, I've gone, okay. Like,
they can't see your face when you say it, but
I don't know. I don't know what else to say where it's just like, okay. Like, it's like, I'm sure some people love this shit. I don't get it. I don't really see it. And I know there's people who's like, well, actually, if you were around in 1965 Italy, you would understand. And I'd be like, yeah, I know. But I wasn't.
Me neither.
And I'm not. So I don't really get it. And again, I don't know, maybe that's me. Maybe you and me need to do one Criterion a year where we spend the entire year just fully completely engrossed in this one thing. It's like, okay, we're gonna look at this one movie, and we're gonna study the contextual, cultural context based on what's going on for the entire year of the city, the state, the country, and the global context at the same time, right? Do you think people would like our episodes if we did that?
Absolutely, that's what they demand.
How long do you think it would take? How long do you think it would take us if we did one episode every 6 months? So if you let it breathe.
It would take 6 months.
I mean, to get through the Criterion.
Oh, we wouldn't. We would actually start just picking and choosing what we talked about.
Oh, I see.
It would be actually liberating.
It would be, but then you actually have to pick, and that'd be like the fridge thing, when you're just staring at the fridge and you're like, I don't know what I want. Anyways, I was not into this almost at all. I don't know. Like, I was watching this, and my honest response to a lot of this was, who cares? Do you know what I mean? It was just like, they're eating dinner together, and it was just like, this guy's doing this, and he's doing that, and it's like, Mom, what do you think? And I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, like, at all. There is, I just don't know why you would make how you would approach a movie this way. And like, to me, it's just,
you know what?
I know some people may really find that interesting in itself, but I was like, nah. Like, what I honestly think. It's not what I watch movies for.
You know, it's a better interpretation of a story that's similar, not the same, but hear me out, similar to this. Royal Tenenbaums.
Mm-hmm.
Much more well done. An actual story, something you're interested in, something that gets you invested. This movie, there was never a part where I cared. I was just like, I don't care.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's a pretty good way of putting it. There is no point in an hour and 49 minutes where you're like, oh, that was a good scene even.
No.
Like, it's just like, huh. I mean, like I said, the only thing I was like, yeah, no, like, this is like a really well photographed movie. Like, it looks, that's about it. But that's all you can say. But it's not like there's like any particular shot that makes you go, oh, that's a great shot. It's like, just taken as a whole, the movie's really well photographed.
Yeah. I'm sure you're not wrong. I cared so little about the movie, I didn't even see that. I was just like,
well, that's easy enough. I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I don't care. I was like, this is gonna be very low in my ranking, just because like I was so disinterested in this. I was like, I don't give a shit about whatever this is doing. And then even the scenes where I think they were trying to do stuff, it's like I was saying earlier, that bathtub scene, I was like, this doesn't even fucking make sense. I was like physically, it doesn't make sense. If that guy was passed out, he would already be slumped in that tub. He would have already like drowned. He wouldn't have the posture to like, once he gets bobbed down once, to pop back up. It's like, does this guy not know how like human bodies work? He has one, I'm assuming. Has he never been in a bathtub before? Like, you know, and like I know that's a stupid thing to be like, to like talk about, but I thought it was dumb. I was just like, that's a dumb thing. Anyways, yeah, I don't hate this movie. I just don't understand why this is a movie. Very much so, where I'm like, who cares? Mm-hmm. Why does this guy care? Why does the guy who made this give a shit? And I know someone's probably like, well, you know, like he actually, like he lived in this like town in Little Italy, and like, and it's like, I don't care.
It's about RJ, the decay of the fabric of the country of Italy, and
I'm sure it is,
and the struggles of the youths RJ, and they're trying to come to terms with it, but they have also become corrupted. And there's like an older brother, and then there's like these other members, but there's something wrong with them. I guess they're epileptics, and you got to kill your mom, and then you might want to fuck your sister. And you kill your other brother, but then your cool brother's like, yo, dog, don't do that. And then self-destructive, and you're supposed to go huge.
And then it all ends with him.
I feel like I've seen this sort of thing with like Andy Milligan movies, and it's not that different. But this one's more technically sound as a movie. But
yeah,
just like, I don't know. You could probably make the same story, but make it, I don't know. I'd say this movie could be this could be a lot better. It could be well told, and like draw you in some way, even like with what they had. But yeah, there's something about the way this entire movie is made, and like the scenes that they show. It's like, why would you show this? Why would you do it this way?
I know.
Yeah. There's no entry. There's
not good.
Yeah, there's just no entry point. And I mean, some people are like, well, that's the point, and I go, yeah, that's great. I don't care. I don't like at the end. This is the movie that if anyone was trying to say, no, actually, this is why it's good. I don't care. There's nothing that can change that.
Everyone's always people who are champions of anything. This is why you should like it. It's like, no, that's why you like it.
No,
it's got nothing to do with why you should like a movie like this. No, thank you.
And yeah, if you're, I don't know, there's a low tolerance for a difference of opinion or something like that. If someone doesn't like something because of this, and maybe they think, wow, you think less of me because of that, then I think less of you about that. And it's like,
because of your opinions.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Jarrett. I could never think lesser of you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, this, of course, brings us to who hates.
Yes. Yeah.
The greatest, the most pinnacle peak of hypocrisy is talking about who hates this film. I mean, we should talk about who loves this film, but man, we'll see who's down there with us.
Yeah.
In the low rankings. How about Finny Boy, 1.5 stars? Mm-hmm. I don't even know what to think. But holy shit, this film drove me nuts and really tested the limits of my empathy. One of the few films I've ever seen that I truly struggled to empathize with. But the Morricone score is unbelievably good, and the music cues generally are fantastic. There are also a couple of great moments sparser throughout. But it doesn't hang together at all for me.
Finny Boy's not got bad taste. I'm looking at what they're doing. They're not bad. Favorite films include A Brighter Summer Day from 91, A Place in the Sun, The Lady Eve, and Mean Streets. And then some half-star films are Curse of the Jade Scorpion, one of everyone's favorite films, The Rise of Skywalker, X-Men 3, The Last Stand, and I don't know, some other shit. I don't know. This person doesn't have bad taste. They know what's up.
Yeah. How about Kane Le Petit? I don't know if this is like Little Kane, WWE Kane.
Like Le Petite Kane, you mean? Yeah. Would Little Kane just be a regular sized person? Because Kane's pretty big.
I'm just hearing Jerry Lawler call in, "It's Mini Kane!"
I mean, I'd like that.
1.5 stars. Painfully boring. This did absolutely nothing for me, and I don't have the energy to write why. It just was not my cup of tea.
It's fine. This person's cup of tea are movies like The Fly, 5 stars. High and Low, 5 stars.
Hell yeah.
Dragged Across Concrete, 5 stars, Jarrett.
No, that movie's not. No.
It's not a 5-star film.
Not even a little bit.
And I love a lot of the people involved in that movie, and it's not a 5-star film.
We watched that together. And it was...
we did.
I think it was one of those like, oh... Huh.
I mean,
doesn't really get there, does it?
Here, I found something else bad, Jarrett. This person gave Exists 1 star. They weren't even on board for that hot Bigfoot action.
Man, out of their minds.
Sad. One of the best scenes of Bigfoot running 30 miles an hour that you'll ever put on film.
That's right.
I gotta say. Yeah.
Want to hear from Dan? 1.5 stars.
Okay.
This is drier than the Sahara. It takes a concept that should lend itself to being an emotional horror, but instead it's continuous tedium broken by occasional outbursts. Does the character want to kill his family to help his brother, or just because he's so incredibly bored? I know the boredom caused me to kill this movie after 40 minutes of people laying around a house staring at each other.
Hey, do you want to hear what Dan from Seattle has to say about himself?
What?
Here's Dan's bio. I am a logical person by nature, and while I love movies, I can't help getting annoyed when movies pay no attention to detail or don't follow the rules of its own world. Thus, I take these things into account when assessing each film. My goal is not only watch all new movies that come out, brackets, that seem interesting, end bracket, but also to watch all the classics from the past. Nothing is out of bounds if it piques my interest or has great reviews. That's what Dan's doing. Dan likes Pan's Labyrinth, Blade Runner 2049, Spirited Away, and Willy Wonka. But I just see they gave Jodorowsky's Dune a 0.5 star, and I find that bizarre. It's not a 0.5 star. It's pretty decent documentary. It's strange.
I don't know. Maybe they don't like it. They just don't like it.
Maybe they just don't like Nicholas Winding.
Okay.
Refn.
I'm looking at some 5-star reviews just out of curiosity, and there's things like Martina, who's got a little still from an Antonioni movie. I swear to God, I saw this film like 3 years ago. How the fuck do I remember every single detail? Huge.
Nobody would say something like that
about this fucking movie.
No. Favorite films include La Notte, The Celebration, Je tu il dia, and The Souvenir Part 2.
How about Vincent D'Elela? Such a spectacular film. Fists in the Pocket is one of the most disturbing yet beautiful films ever created. This is Italian cinema at its best. With this being my second watch, I can honestly say that this film is a masterpiece. Marco Bellocchio is a genius. He really made something memorable and unique. If you want to get into Italian cinema, I think this is the best place to start. Totally worth checking out. My God.
Come on.
That's a bot. That's a bot, right? Oh, he's a filmmaker, film critic, and all-around film lover. He's got a Vimeo account.
From Canada. Almost exclusively 5-star films. You seeing these favorite films, Jarrett?
I'm seeing them. Do you want to tell our audience?
It's you couldn't have picked better ones. The only thing I would have switched out is one of these Scorsese or like one of the De Niro movies, with Fight Club, and then it would have been perfect.
It's true.
But Goodfellas, Raging Bull, Clockwork Orange, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
All we're missing is Empire Strikes Back, Scarface, and Fight Club, and then it would have been the trifecta. It would have been perfect.
That'd be a slamma-jamma.
Slamma-jamma. Oh my god.
Oh.
Classic. Oh well, Jarrett.
You're so cruel.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, people got to make better decisions.
Yeah.
Myself included. Everyone's got to make better decisions, Jared.
It's true.
Be better. As Hot Cam would say, be better.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh well, I think we gave this movie more than enough attention.
Hey, what does Fist in the Pocket mean to you?
Nothing.
The title.
Nothing. Like
No?
this guy's just got balled up fists in the pocket because he wants to kill his family. And he's
Because he's got that incel rage.
so stupid. This movie's stupid.
Yeah. Now it's in the past. Onward and forward. After the break, we're going to have seizures.
What? Werewolves.